Last time on Reckless Attack.
The party finds themselves in the calm before the storm, mere hours away from the next deadly attack. As the sun sets behind the walls of the Red City, will the party be able to intercept and stop the Mothman? Find out this week on Reckless Attack.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Nathan. Hi, Nathan.
I thought there'd be more. I didn't know if we were supposed to answer.
I have more.
Okay, that's
Steve. First of all, I'm Nathan. I'm the Dungeon Master for the Reckless Attack 5th edition actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast. And I am surrounded by a bunch of jamokes whom I hate now.
Oh, no.
What? Why?
We'll let you all introduce yourselves so that the listening audience will know who is about to be chastised for their crimes against me personally.
Was this because I said purple suede?
It was not. That was almost enough to redeem you.
Oh, okay.
And your, let's call it alternative attempt to have vocal warm-ups like red leather, yellow leather, purple suede, which someone is welcome to make that album cover if they want. But no, that's not it, Sophie.
Oh, no.
So why don't you, Sophie, introduce yourself, please?
Hi. As Nathan said, I'm Sophie. I play Valeska Carter, the human astric cleric of the Arcana domain. And I'm pretty sure it's been a while. She's just out on patrol.
Yeah, exactly. Out on patrol, no big deal. Nothing to worry about,
Enjoying
I'm sure.
a very calm evening, very chill, just talking to her patrol buddies.
Yeah, exactly. First and foremost, of course, among those patrol buddies is beloved character Selv, played by a not beloved Steve. Steve, introduce yourself.
Oh, no. We're all just recoiling. Okay, all right.
I didn't clear this intro with anyone else.
Hello, everyone. I'm still, I think, currently playing Selv.
For now.
At least until after the introduction of this episode.
The dissolution of the podcast.
And I guess it's just it's patrol time. We're out looking for trouble. And so I guess it's time to find it. I'm hoping we don't find anything bad and that it's just a normal patrol and everything is quiet, and then we can go back and go to sleep and have a nice rest and then get up in the morning and just do some more shopping and maybe some playing in the treasure room. But that's my plan. I don't know what other plans DM Nathan may have.
Don't worry about it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan, and usually I play Checkers, the Grung Druid, and his trusty frog pal Mango.
But now the podcast is dissolved, so
That's true.
you play no one.
Oh, no.
No, that's not true.
So for tonight, we're doing something a little bit different in that I am playing someone who has joined Selv and Valeska on patrol. And that's all the introduction that I will give for right now.
Ooh, keeping it a mystery. Interesting.
Yeah. Before turning it over to...
Well, I was just going to tell everyone.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
who I was.
It's you're all individuals. You can make your own choices, whatever you want to do, David. I mean, David.
Hi, everyone. I'm David. And usually I also play Kascorin and Brightmane. But today I am playing a different NPC who I will reveal at a later time.
Are they really an NPC if you're playing them?
You know, this is
yes.
that's a very existential question,
right?
and we'll save that for some bonus content.
Okay. I also think that the whole splitting the party is like, maybe there's like a huge energy release when that happens. It's like splitting an atom.
Enough to destroy the red city of AGMAR.
I'll put it this way. You may need it tonight.
Oh, no.
But first, some business. Some beefs, in fact. In the in-between times, in between our last recordings, something was brought to my attention. I had been carefully crafting a grand unveiling of what this creature was, the Mothman that you had been facing, had been terrorizing you all for months of gameplay, and I had a big dramatic reveal, said the name with a lot of weight. Everyone reacted in a like, wait, that's where you're leaving it? It was great. It was very rewarding. And then I found out that I was the only one at the table who knew what Mothman was. And
We were all just looking at Nathan like, why did you make a dumb name for
why
this
did you
creature?
call it this dumb name?
Yeah, right.
You just took the goth moth and put a man at the end
Yeah,
of it.
you made
like,
Gothmoth worse. What
Yeah.
are you doing, Nathan?
Yeah.
And that really was painful for me personally, where like, and let this inform all DMs, where sometimes even groups who have played together for a long time, things that you think might be cool and be a revelation. Not always. Not always.
Just going to interject just a tiny little personal thing in here. Jeff, if you're listening, this is the Abaddon thing all over again.
So, for both your edification and the listeners, I have done the liberty of doing a lot of research, aka pulling up the Wikipedia page for Mothman, and I am having a dramatic reading from a small portion of it.
I'm going to get some bongos over here and it'll just feel like,
Very spooky. Everyone, the spookiest instrument,
Yeah.
bongo drums. For those who don't know, it is a quote-unquote real cryptid here in the U.S., actually. In West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 15th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. The first newspaper report was published, titled, "Couples See Man-Sized Bird, Creature, Something?" The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. On November 15th, two young couples from Point Pleasant told police that they saw a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings, following their car while they were driving in an area outside of town. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. Following the December 15th, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people, the incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. In 2016, a news station published a photo purported to be of Mothman. Someone proposed it showed a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or snake away.
Not now.
But I choose to believe that it was the Mothman. And so, this is the creature, not a bird, perhaps an owl carrying a frog or snake away, but a herald of destruction and of sadness and of doom is what you face. But let's not skip ahead of ourselves here. It's just a night on the town in AGMAR. You guys are just strolling around. Selv, Valeska, these two NPCs, played by PCs, we don't know, we'll figure it out, are just strolling the pleasant, albeit dark, streets of the Red City. Sophie and Steve, could you please first describe your characters, what they're doing, what the kind of omniscient camera swooping in on your position in the city as you are on patrol on the Red City of AGMAR, watching out for signs of this herald?
Well, they would see Valeska in her leather armor, loose-fitting pants with tall boots. She does have her dark blue eye mask on because it's just like a habit at this point. Yeah. Like she feels weird not wearing it. And her short, cropped brown hair braided back and together at the nape of her neck. And she looks quite small next to Selv, as she's maybe 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And he is 7. It's a real
6.5,
real
I think,
height
solid.
difference.
Yeah, it's a six and a half or so, yeah. While we're walking around, Selv is, he's like 6.5 feet tall. And if there's any kind of moonlight out right now, so it kind of reflects off his scales, which are a combination of silver and white. And so in the moonlight, he almost has a little bit of a glow, especially if there's like a fog or anything around him. You can kind of like see it reflect off and shine. He is constantly looking around, up, down, left, right, and just watching the skies, keeping his eyes moving so that any larger shapes he can, even if he catches it out of the kind of the corner of his eye, he could focus on it as fast as possible. And he's walking with his staff. He's wearing his travel gi, which is his shit's about to go down gi. So it's mostly kind of a dark red and crimson with a gold almost sash across the chest. And he's just walking around and maybe occasionally piping in on any conversation that's going, but he's mostly focused on just watching and keeping an eye out, because having encountered these creatures before, he knows that he absolutely does not want to get caught off guard by one of these things.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea that Selv just has a, like, yeah, this can get blood on it, Guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fine.
Mind.
Val is probably carrying on conversation with the two guards that are with them, while still keeping an eye out, but she doesn't have dark vision, so she's carrying a torch. Occasionally she'll start walking backwards and maybe like hold on to Selv's hand as she does it. Just like get a view, just like making
Adorable.
sure.
So
You know.
just to clarify, are you using a torch or do you have the light spell?
I don't have a light spell.
Okay.
Oh no, I do have a light spell.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just
Well, no, torch is
Yeah.
also a good idea, but if you have a torch, if you could put the light spell maybe on Selv's staff.
Yeah, let's put this light spell on the top of Selv's staff and I'll have a torch.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Light
Perfect.
all around.
Because I can't see in the dark either.
To set the scene, as you guys are about to introduce your characters again, you guys got introduced here as you were kind of assembling your, calling in favors from your allies, saying, hey, we have a plan. Namgar was able to happily connect you guys with some patrolmen in the area who were on the night shift to kind of accompany you and bolster your forces. Specifically, you guys, the two of you plus the two guard people, are actually in the Stills area of the city, which is kind of in the southeast portion, most towards the Waveless Lake. And as you're walking around, you can definitely see that this is the part of town that is well lived in, but is definitely not as opulent as many of the other places are or were. This is clearly a working class neighborhood.
I'm going to use Control Flame, which is just a somatic component. So I'm just kind of wave my hand, and I am going to double the bright light and dim light cast by the torch.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So, the two guilders are walking along, and who accompanies them this evening? And I believe this is also the first introduction of these characters to the rest of the table as well.
You are accompanied by a tallish-looking humanoid. He is a little bit shorter than Selv, but he has this shoulder-length hair that's golden, and he's a little bit stockier than Selv might be. The thing that you would note about him is that he's wearing this kind of old-looking set of full plate. It looks like it's been well cared for, but it's survived a few battles. However, both of the sleeves have been like cut off, basically. So he's essentially just wearing this giant breastplate looking thing, but it's
Awesome.
full plate. He's standing up tall and he's just sniffing the night air. I'm just trying to get a sense of everything around him. It's like he's not even paying attention to the actual sights around him. He's more or less just trying to smell what's going on around him. And when he would have introduced himself earlier, he would have said, pleasure to meet you. My name's Bartholomew, but anyone that knows better calls me Char.
Hi,
Hi, who are you?
Valeska Carter, the Golden Tree Guild.
Carter, nice to meet you. And you there?
Sylvesterlin, also of the Golden Tree Guild.
Masterlin, that's a strong name. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, hey.
Who's this then?
Ah.
No, I
and-
was more sad about my name not being
Oh,
strong.
do you just look like a pretty much normal human type person?
Yes, for right now.
Mhm.
You're also accompanied by a small halfling, about 4 feet tall, standing a little bit shorter than Valeska. He is,
That's hilarious.
yeah, right?
4 feet tall, tiny person.
Yeah,
Little bit smaller
just
than
a
Val.
little bit smaller than that.
Hey, I got a foot on you.
He is wearing basic leather armor. He has a short sword by his side. And most notably, he has slicked back brown hair, and 2 golden earrings.
Ooh.
Nice to meet you. The name's Harrison Goodleaf. It's a pleasure to be working with you today.
Hello.
And so he has been basically babbling this entire time as we're walking. I don't think this Mothman's really that big of a deal. I mean, I'd rather like to see him tonight if possible. I think he'll go down rather easily.
Val just looks sideways at Selv.
What's the big deal? It's just a blob of darkness, right? That's what the reports have said. Nah, it can't be that bad.
Val and Selv just make meaningful eye contact.
Yep, that makes sense.
Val will cast Mind Link at Selv and ask him, would you like to explain this one?
Well, you have to think of it as darkness with claws and teeth and
sentience?
fear.
How do you smell darkness, I wonder?
It smells like fear.
And Char continues to smell the night air.
Just a dude
Yeah.
sniffing the
Yeah,
air,
yeah,
as
right.
they do.
And one thing that Char would have shown you before is that he kind of takes a quick second, breathes in and inhales, and all of a sudden you see his, like, just both of his arms get massively muscular, like his shoulders pop and his biceps just like get crazy huge, and he grows these long, almost canine-like teeth. And he just like growls for a minute. What do you think?
Fascinating. What is happening?
Formidable.
As we are walking, Val is going to start politely asking you about how you do what you just did.
How you
and
do?
then we'll become more insistent.
Well, I actually come from a long line of soldiers here in AGMAR. My people have been in AGMAR for quite some time, actually. We were here when we first reclaimed the city. My family and I, we have been guards here in AGMAR this whole time, and I find it part of my duty, you could say, to continue guarding the city.
I appreciate your service. How do you grow fangs and make your arms do that? That was more what I was getting at.
Well, it's a leftover ability from when the Pentarchy were experimenting, I hear. We more or less look humanoid now, but we still have this vestige of bestial power within us that allows us to transform. It can be useful sometimes, but you see why I don't use it all the time here.
Fascinating.
I could see how it would ruin a lot of shirts.
Yes, well, I tend not to wear sleeves, if you understand.
Sophie, would you like to roll a history check to see if you know anything more?
Yes. Guidance.
You're just quietly like, oh, interesting, and then turn to the side and whisper a prayer and touch your chest to be like, but like, what is the real deal? What do I remember?
Exactly. 19.
Nice. So you would actually know that there is a pretty sizable population of beast folk here in the city. Some of them are a little more obvious, and some of them are much like your new NPC guard friend, who are just kind of totally normal people, but they were people who the Pentarchy in the early days of their empire modified and experimented on, essentially. Eventually, they moved to other projects, and the beast folk were able to essentially become their own people, more or less, and are kind of just treated in the same way that every mortal on Rixia is, especially now, aren't really looked upon. It's been so long since they were created that they are just looked upon like anyone else.
So you decided to play a character that literally has a beast mode.
Yes.
I'm going to climb on the roof and see if I can get a better view of the area. I'll follow you along there while if you guys patrol down here.
Sounds good. Shout, and Val will tap her head as she says it. Shout if you need anything.
Of course.
And I will I'll make sure to stay within the 30 feet or so of Val, so the mind link is still active.
Well, I don't know if we should let you go alone. Harrison, what do you think?
I mean, he's pretty tall. I guess we'll be able to see. I guess we'll be able to see it coming from a mile away.
I will be with you just right up there. Or is that the going alone, that's what you're worried about?
A bit. If what you've told me about this creature is true, then I'm just concerned is all. I'm just thinking, like, do I want to Like I could give Harrison a boost up there and
Yeah.
travel along with Selv. So Char's going to like just shift his left arm basically, so it's super muscular, and then hold it out to Harrison. Climb on.
And Harrison just does like almost like a bunny hop right onto Char's hand, like he's playing hopscotch. Just whoop.
Oh, I love that.
And then Char's just gonna like hurl him up towards where Selv has jumped up onto the rooftops to.
And it just rockets right up and just lands onto the roof next to Selv and continues walking without skipping a beat.
Ooh. You make it up there, no problem. Could you roll me an acrobatics or some other check to see how impressive of a landing it is? Give me just a dex check.
18.
Ooh, yeah. Describe your flawless gymnast-like landing.
So I imagine Char and Harrison have worked together within the SVU for a while. And so this is a pretty common tactic they've used to get higher ground, where Char just like bulges his muscles and makes a platform for Harrison, who just jumps up and almost continues walking. Normally he would he could do like a flip or whatever to add some flourish, but it's almost more impressive that he just jumps straight up like an acrobat and then lands.
Yeah, like almost in just as if he's taking another step, basically, and just matches pace. Awesome.
And this whole time, like as he's talking, he doesn't even take a breath. He just keeps saying stuff like, and isn't it nice how gorgeous it is outside? How bright the stars are. It's so quiet and lovely. You can barely hear just the crickets. And as he's walking on.
Quiet.
Val in Selv's mind just goes, I mean, yeah, it's a lot quieter down here now.
You guys continue walking along the rooftops and the streets of AGMAR and of the stills. And the first ones to feel it are the two on the roof. All of this happens all at the same time in that kind of snappy way where things go from good to bad. Where Selv and the diminutive showy halfling get this strange feeling about them. As the whole group hears not a cry as I kind of described last time, but more of a whimper of someone in extreme duress, almost pleading and no, hyperventilating. I would like the two people on the rooftop to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. Selv has a 15.
Harrison has a 10.
The both of you, as soon as you step forward a little bit, you take one step and this all hits you. It is as if the sky above you is bigger than it's ever been, and that you are smaller than you've ever been. That there is this huge city, this huge sky, this huge world, and you are just a tiny, insignificant, vulnerable speck on it. You feel your chest tighten up, and you feel as if you are alone and exposed in the middle of some unfathomably large field. An open abyss of darkness, of no cover. And I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Cool.
Ah.
Cool. Nice. Char with a 21.
Hey!
On
Wow.
a natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
18 for Val.
Ooh.
With no bonus.
Harrison with 11.
Steve just looks away.
Selv goes on 4.
No, really?
Rolled a 2.
Mechanically, I will first say, for the both of you, Selv and Harrison, your speed is halved, as if you have entered into an aura. This is all an aura effect, just for clarity. Your speed is halved. You have -2 to your AC, and -1d4 on every attack.
So did neither of us made the save?
No, this is what you both share.
Oh.
There's no save. I see.
So some effects just happen, and then the save prevents other bad effects.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
For Harrison, And for anyone else who fails on this roll, you, akin to the slow spell, can either make an action or a bonus action on your turn. So what this is emulating, what you guys are feeling, is as if you are just, again, a tiny speck on a huge plane of existence and are almost supernaturally slowed. Or imagine an ant going across a table where the ant thinks it's moving perfectly normal, but there is so much table. And that is you. You are the ants.
That's cool and terrifying at the
Yeah, I
exact
don't
same time.
like it, but it's awesome.
Correct. Everyone hears this hyperventilating almost of just coming from around a corner down a small side street up ahead of you guys. And again, it is loud enough that you guys can hear it from the distance that you are. You estimate that it is probably about 30 feet away from certainly the people who are up on the roof, and I'll just give you roughly 30 feet away from you guys. But you do not see anything yet. The people on the roof only start to feel the effects of this thing.
Char just kind of gets, basically, he smells the adrenaline and the sweat, and just he can almost smell the fear that's being exuded around him, and it just kind of like kicks him into high gear for a second. He instinctually begins shifting into his bestial form. So he takes one step, and all of a sudden he just like stops, like something's shocked him almost, and he just, you can hear this low growl coming out of his mouth as his arms slowly become bigger, his hair grows, and the fangs on his teeth begin to enlarge.
Val, we're in trouble.
Or
Val, someone's in trouble. But also we're in trouble.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger now. He begins like sort of slowly lumbering forward towards the direction that he can sort of hear the whimpering from, but
Yes.
he picks up speed as he goes. Like he's kind of building momentum towards the person, and he tries to get closer towards where he's hearing this person. When he moves 30 feet, does he see anything differently?
First, wisdom saving throw,
Wisdom
please.
saving throw. Oh, natural one.
Oh, no.
I love that the checkers die is that chaos of all or nothing.
Yes, all or nothing. So you, Val, you see this large man grow even larger and more bestial and more intense and intimidating. And, you know, you get that flash of like, I see what the Pentarchy was thinking when they came up with this sort of thing. But you see this big, hulking mortal start to charge in and take several steps, and then suddenly it is as if, Char, you are running through quicksand. And again, it's not that you're perceiving things slower, it's not even really that you're moving too much slower, but it's just like, imagine your arms are pumping, your legs are pumping in the same way and the same speed that they always would, but you're not getting as far. And you are like, and it boggles the mind. Anyone who is watching is like, well, he's not taking smaller steps. He's not going any slower. Why isn't he going? Why is he still in the same place? As you are moving around, it becomes obvious you would need to double move to get in that direction. And as you turn the corner, you see a hulking creature that is a strange amorphous blob that you have that you personally, you, Jonathan, the player, know very well, that Char has only read in reports and only heard people talk about. And extruding from this blob are 4 gigantic, what appears to be arms or legs, spindly, alien large, in ways that no normal mortal limb has ever stretched. And it is on all 4s, and you see what, again, the Guilders would recognize as an almost skull-like face with giant moth antennae going up from it, is pushed face to face with a man wearing simple clothing, a dwarf man, who is sitting up but in the fetal position and holding his knees and not even looking at the monster in front of him because of how terrified he is. And you just see him hyperventilating, 1,000-yard stare, and just rocking back and forth and just
And when Char sees this, he is like, he almost starts to try and growl, but it comes out in kind of a loud, almost like barking sound, like that kind of thing, you know, like he's so terrified, like so surprised almost that this is happening that he can't quite make words come out of his mouth like that.
Okay, so you're able to get within, I will say, about 10 feet or so of this creature.
Yeah, but it's like in an alley kind of thing.
No, actually, it is interesting where it is in a street. I mean, it's a pretty narrow street. It is narrower than, certainly any even sort of main thoroughfare, but it's not even an alley. It's a pretty open, relatively open space comparatively, which is why the feeling that you're feeling is so extra strange, because these are not cramped quarters. You're also not in the middle of a endless void. You're just on a regular, smallish street.
Val will say a quick prayer, touch her holy symbol around her neck, and run in the same direction, praying for the knowledge to get her through the battle.
Could you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Hopefully.
I hope so, too. I cheer for you,
19 on the die.
Nice.
Easy peasy. You still feel the effects. You are still, again, making so much less progress and moving slowly, or your reaction time is different or something, you're not sure. But you are able to still take your full bonus and action on each of your turn, and you do not need to make that save as long as you remain inside of this aura. And so you're about 30 feet away from the creature, and you now see the same thing that Char saw.
Gotcha. I will, as an action, cast Mind Sliver at the creature.
Okay. Ooh, failed. It's 4 on the die.
Cool. 5 psychic damage.
Ooh.
And it will subtract a d4 from its next saving throw.
Ooh.
Before the end of my next turn.
Ooh, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then I will cast, as a bonus action, Spiritual Weapon.
Sick.
As Val is running up towards this creature, she removes her hand from her holy symbol in just kind of a almost like sidearm fling, and that is how she casts Mind Sliver at it. And in thinking about how she's feeling in this aura, the only thing she can think about is that she has felt this small before, but in a positive way, in reading her books and exploring the world. So as she casts Spiritual Weapon, a giant book just comes out. It's like force pushed out of her shield again.
Oh, I love that.
But it comes out like open to come and like smack and close on the head of this creature.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
Cool.
19 to hit.
That hits.
Only 4 points of damage again.
Okay.
Every little bit counts.
Exactly.
And I will stand behind Char.
Nice.
The giant man.
I mean, that strategy has served you well in the past. So this creature, you slam this celestial book down on it, and it does not move. It takes the damage, certainly, but it is so hyper-focused on its victim right now, and you can see that it is almost heaving with breath in the same cadence that this person is hyperventilating, as if they are matched.
As a free action, can Val just yell at the top of her lungs?
Of course.
Just yell, help! At the top of her lungs.
Perfect.
That's it.
Absolutely. Now it's its turn.
Nope.
Without looking. Well, you don't really know how it looks. It's just a weird skull.
I thought you were telling
There's no
us not to
eyeballs.
look, so I just
No.
I didn't change where my eye was looking.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. It's 2 legs. We'll call them legs. Appendages that are closest to you guys. Lift up simultaneously, and it is still maintains perfect balance, even as its whole right side lifts up off the ground, and it sends both of the arms reaching out 15 feet at each of you and makes a claw attack.
No. Do I have cover?
No.
But I'm behind Char.
Well, you'd have partial cover. You can give yourself back the
Yay!
+2,
Nice.
the -2 AC that you're missing.
Nice,
Thanks, Char.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad. We'll say this was against Val since we were talking about you, but that's a 3 on the die.
Yay. Thanks, Char.
DM dice is going to timeouts. Now to Char. Ooh, that's really bad. 14 to hit.
Char just like brings up his arms in front of him and just absorbs the blow. He shifts back a little bit, heaving with effort, but make sure not to like actually hit Val, who's behind him.
Yeah, is unmoved
Yeah.
though, is the point.
Right.
But yeah, so you like it is this horrible sensation just scraping across you. It is an impossible to describe feeling because this doesn't even feel like a normal mortal Rixian creature. It is so strange and so alien.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the mid-roll.
The mid-roll!
We made it to the mid-roll, yay.
Yes, it's the three of us, Nathan, myself, and Jonathan.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Here to once again talk to you about cool things that we're doing.
Here in the middle of our episode.
Yeah.
Give you just a break for the long journey that you have gone through in 30 minutes of audio or so to get to this point. Congratulations.
This is the oasis in the desert over
You've been hearing
know.
us talk for so long. We finally have given you a break.
From, I guess, Sophie and Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh,
Sorry, Sophie and Steve. Now we get to really test to see if they listen to the episodes regularly.
Yeah.
We're to be like, just you hear from some other room in your condo, David, of like, hey!
Yeah.
Then we'll know.
So we actually have a lot of very cool, exciting
Yeah.
things coming up in the next couple of weeks that we would love for you to know about.
First of all, on Thursday, we have a new episode of Reckless, a Talk, and it is very good.
Yeah, very good.
We are talking, we being me, but we collectively, the Reckless a Talk brand, sits down with Cassie Mothman, who is the acclaimed TTRPG supplement writer of What Crooked Roots. She's also a streamer. She is also a lovely person on Twitter and off of Twitter. And we have a really awesome conversation about folk horror, about creation, about becoming a person in the sphere, and like taking that leap between I'm just doing a fun thing on the side to like, oh, I'm like hustling and have a social media presence. And Cassie's like one of my favorite people in the world. So like, listen. It's good.
if you haven't listened yet, by the time you've listened to this episode, well, it's
Yeah.
not out yet, but you know,
Depending on when you're
go listen
listening to
it.
this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In a couple weeks as well, we actually have a special one-shot run by none other than our own Steve Hurwitz.
That's right. We're not going to tell you what it is just yet. We're going to keep it, playing it close to the vest.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that you guys knew we'll be taking a couple weeks off of the quote unquote normal Reckless Attack content for something a little special.
Yeah, a little spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean,
It's not
let's
spicy.
not, let's not set
Okay,
expectations in that
yeah.
direction. There are other podcasts that do that,
Yes,
and like it's on the table, but like it's not that
It's
kind
not
of spicy.
Yeah.
It's spicy in like a flavorful kind of way.
we are not going that direction.
No.
No, not yet. At least we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe it's
New Patreon goal.
Oh boy. And one thing that Nathan has been working really hard to put together, actually, that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks as well, is a guide for how to promo your TTRPG
Yes.
podcast or
Things.
things. Yeah. Just how to start promoting things in this space.
Yeah, exactly. And that'll be coming out in, I don't know, 2-ish weeks, something like that. It'll come out right alongside my own Reckless Attack. I am the next and last Reckless Attack member who will be releasing that later on this month. So that'll be coming out right around the same time.
So look forward to that if that's something that you're interested in.
Yeah, March is a busy month for us.
March is a very busy month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot
It's
going
good, but there's a lot.
So to recap, we have Cassie's Reckless Talk. We have
so
Nathan's
good.
Reckless Talk. We have a special set of episodes run by Steve coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And we also have a how to promo written by our very own Dungeon Master.
Whee! and semi-professional Twitter yeller.
Yeah, right. Screamer into the void.
Yes, exactly.
Brand manager.
Yes.
No,
I mean,
gross.
also works, but
Yeah.
I like my business card better.
Yeah.
Twitter screamer.
Yeah, we need to get you a little plaque.
Yeah.
It says Twitter Screamer.
Could you imagine? Just I DM every single episode with just a plaque in front of my little space.
Professional dungeon master.
Yes. That's how you know it's real. I have
Yeah.
a plaque.
Yeah. That's all we have for today's mid-roll, everyone.
Which is, hey, if that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell
Yeah,
you, man.
right,
We got a lot
exactly.
going on. Thank you for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Harrison, you're just at the edge. You are up on the rooftop with Selv, and you have just felt this horrible, horrible feeling. And you hear sounds of battle up ahead of you. What do you do?
So Harrison has been talking this whole time, and all of a sudden, as we walk into this aura, he feels the words catch in his throat. Reflexively, he begins to cast a spell, but it's like his reflexes are so slowed down. His arms and his fingers aren't moving at the same speed that he's used to.
Yeah. And his mind, I'd imagine, too, where it's just like churning away.
Selv, something's not right. And he casts Silent Image. Next to him appears a perfect duplicate of himself with a
love
short
this so
sword
much.
and everything. And as he's moving, he is running forward towards the edge of the roof to get to the creature, but his image is moving much faster than him.
Oh,
twice as
sure.
fast.
Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
he is moving half, and he hasn't quite compensated for that yet. So his image moves to the edge of the roof, and he catches up a little bit afterwards, and they both peer down simultaneously.
Okay, awesome. And that is what you see this horrible thing unfolding. You can maybe even see the arms extend and kind of like are reaching back after having clearly tried to smack the other two people on the ground. And you have a look more than anyone else down on this creature and its horrible skull-like face.
Harrison looks back at Selv, and he has this like huge just shit-eating grin, basically, like much in the same way like Checkers does. It's like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh no.
And both him and the image turn around and just do like a backward swan dive off the roof.
Excellent.
And that is
So
his turn.
that actually might answer a question Selv had in the back of his mind was, do they fall at half speed?
Oh.
Ooh. What I'm going to say is that the end of your turn is essentially you like turning around and
Yeah.
like the slow-mo. He's clearly about to fall down.
Yeah.
But interesting. Ooh. I don't think I can say that yet, but that's a wonderful question, Steve. So you have just started to feel gravity's embrace pull you downward. You can make me another wisdom saving throw if you'd like.
Fail. I rolled a 2.
Damn. Okay.
So I think I have a little bit more movement than Harrison had. So I'm going to make my way to the edge of the roof. And whichever corner of the roof is the same side that Val and Char are coming from.
Yeah, so just to re-describe too, so I'm kind of imagining it as this victim is almost up against a wall and cowering, and this creature is before you guys and kind of straight up facing you, and then over to the left is Val and Char kind of charging in.
Okay. So I'm going to move to the left side of the roof. How far is the creature from me?
As long as you move all the way, it is essentially just right below you. So you are up on, we'll say, a one-story building.
Okay.
So it is 10 feet. Fuck off, Pythagoras. You're 10 feet away from this person,
Okay.
from this thing.
What I am going to do is use Fist of Unbroken Air.
Yeah,
So
right.
my first attack with this, 18 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. So as Selvrata runs up there, his fist kind of gets there's like that swirling
Yeah.
wind around it, and he just punches down, and almost a wind form shell of his hand kind of comes out and strikes this thing.
Yeah, and I'm imagining it like having like a parabolic arc like over the shoulder of this dwarf, so it just like has the proper angle to push this
yeah,
thing.
and it's right in the face, just. So that is going to be originally 4 points of damage, but we're going to subtract 3 from that.
Ooh, yeah. Even with your dex mod and stuff?
Well, so it's +2. I rolled a 2 on the damage die, so +2 is 4 points, and then minus the 3 on the thing. So it's 1 point of damage, but it does have to make a strength saving throw or be pushed back 10 feet and be knocked prone.
Nice.
4 on the die. You punch down and make a less than ideal connection. You, Selv, immediately, in the same way that in some of your other fights have noticed, seem to do as much damage as you hoped, and it has the effect that you hoped.
Okay.
And you see this thing just like anime skid backwards as dust and stuff kicks up as it is separated from the victim, who is still clearly totally out of it and totally unresponsive and still breathing and hyperventilating, but this thing is now no longer looming over it, and it rears back and looks straight directly at you.
And then I'm going to. Am I still within 15 feet of it?
I'm gonna say
if I move if I move a little bit. So
if you drop down to the ground, you could.
Yes, I will.
Sick.
I will drop. I will just basically like leap off the.
Do you have that like wall walk yet?
Not yet.
Dang.
Okay, give me an athletics check or acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. All right, acrobatics.
Do so gracefully.
14 total.
I'll say that's good enough. You don't have to take any damage from one story fall. You're yourself. That seems reasonable.
I just imagine Selv like
It
like
has this-
claws,
Yeah.
like sticks his claws
Yeah.
in the building and just,
And just
like that pirate sticking its knife in
Yes.
its tail kind
Yeah.
of thing.
That's cool.
I'll land next to the dwarf on the ground.
Excellent. Top of the order, round 2. So this thing has now been pushed back 10 feet. Selv is on the ground. You see your partner in the SVU doing what I assume to be some degree of a patented or signature swan dive onto danger. And it is your turn, Char.
Char is going to run as fast as he can towards the now pushed back horrifying moth creature. He's moving still pretty slowly, but he's going to try and make his way up towards the front of this creature if he can.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So he's going to get right up next to the skull-looking thing, and he's going to bring both of his arms around and just try and grab onto the antenna of the skull. He's going to attempt to grapple the creature as it's prone.
Hell yeah.
First of all, this is the worst feeling thing you've ever felt.
Yes.
It is this horrible claw feeling that you already felt, which is, again, is just strange. You almost can't pinpoint why it's so freaking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine that, but made of bone. And it's no good.
Yeah.
But you are a trained guardsman. You have a long ancestry of heroes behind you, and of soldiers and of people who do their civic duty. Roll me an athletics check to grapple this thing.
All right, let's see it. 21 athletics.
That's a 5 on the die.
Nice.
So what was your total?
21 total.
Oh, fine.
So you see Char go up and just like grab onto this creature as it's on the ground, and you can see him like struggling to maintain his grip and also just like stay as close as he is to this creature, and he's just shaking with effort, but he does manage to hold on.
I forgot this thing is prone too.
Yeah.
So you're almost like I'm imagining like a bull being down and you leap into action and are like holding onto its horns and just like keeping it, like forcing it to be in the same place.
So that's going to be the end of his turn as he's just like struggling to keep this thing immobile as much as he can.
Okay, and because you are still under its strange effects,
Yep.
you can roll me another wisdom saving throw.
That's going to fail. I have 7 on the die.
Val, now that the creature has been pushed back, will run towards the dwarf
Cool.
and cast protection from evil and good.
Ooh. Okay.
And then run away.
Okay. And is that so that's like a touch range spell?
Touch. I have to touch a willing creature. Be
He is not an
run up, run up.
unwilling creature.
Hey, friend. Pat him down, like just boop. Hey.
Yeah, what do you say? Is it just because you're in combat that it is just really that kind of straightforward as like quick prayer, back to business,
Snap out
let's
of
go.
Yeah, Val will probably run along the wall the dwarf is up against, grab his shoulder, and say,
Come with me if you want to live.
no, knowledge will protect you. And there's a quick glow from her hand, and she kind of like gives a tug as she leaves to try to get him to follow her. and will start retreating at that point.
Okay. Could you can make me a strength check of some sort or a charisma check to be the proper amount of forceful and or gentle to care for this person.
I would like to try to persuade him. Hell yeah. 23.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Okay, so this
Thank you,
person,
Valeska.
you cast this on him, and again, you're still moving slow, and you're kind of only just able to get to him and kind of start him moving a little bit. But as you're saying this, and as you're comforting him, and as your magic fills him and emboldens him, he staggers up to his feet, does not, lets himself be led away. He has a moment of lucidity and looks you straight in the eye and just says, "They're all dead. They're all dead." But he follows you as you move.
And then I will move my spiritual weapon and attack again.
Ooh, cool.
16 on the die.
Absolutely.
One point of damage. Wait, 2 points of damage.
Which does less than you'd hope.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Dang it. Roll real shit. My D20 is doing great. My D8's not. I'm going to switch that one out.
You guys all see Val charge in, say something, cast something on this person, and start to move this victim out of the way.
Cool.
Thanks, Char.
Oh, you got it.
I believe in you.
So, Char.
Yeah.
And you guys all, of course, see this now that you are, well, I guess.
You don't.
Yeah.
Harrison doesn't see it.
Not yet. He's directly facing away.
As Char rubs its belly and puts it to sleep.
Harrison, we'll see. I still haven't figured out how to. Well, we'll figure it out. Char.
Yeah.
You're trying to wrestle this thing down, trying to control it, trying to do who knows what, to buy time to do something. And with this horrid superhuman strength, it cranes, not even its neck, but it's almost its skull-like thing moves up the body more than it raises its neck, and seems to once again, without eyes, look directly at you. And you hear a sound that may be familiar to you. Bong! A bell rings. And I would like everyone to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, no.
And actually, Harrison, you're kind of at a weird angle. I'm going to give you advantage on this.
Cool.
Selv has a 19.
I'll just say it's a DC 15.
Fail.
Succeed.
Hey! Those who pass take 3 points of damage. Those who, and this is unfortunate, those who failed take 6 points of damage and are pushed backwards 20 feet.
I'm good with that. That's cool. I'm okay.
Yes, but it does mean that you and the person that you are saving get thrown into a wall.
Oh, back that? I thought we were getting out.
No.
I thought we were.
No.
I thought we just got expeditious retreated out of there.
No.
Dang.
No, that is not what happened. Char,
Yeah.
you get thrown. And you also get thrown against the wall.
Yeah.
You take 4 more points of damage, of bludgeoning damage.
Sounds good.
And the two of you take 2d6 damage because you're much closer to the wall and get thrown much harder. 7 points of damage.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
But it's not all bad news, because as this happens, and I really labored over this, how to explain it without getting into game mechanics in a fun, artisty way, and I failed. And sometimes the DM, you just have to be fine with that. The extra effect of a D4 of damage being reduced seems to no longer be there. So you're able to move your limbs just a little bit faster and are no longer penalized on your damage rolls now that it's used that ability. So it blows everyone back, and it is as if a sound wave goes off. It is in a huge bubble where just and there's this hemisphere of force that just expands out from it. Then it moves up to the wall and is now within range of Val, of Char, and the dwarf. And Selv, I guess, is somewhere in there too, right?
How fast does it look like it's moving? It was, I guess, technically prone. So
True.
It had to stand up, and if it made that full distance, can I get an
Roll me an
estimate?
insight check or some other check, because it is able to move that fast.
Insight's fine. 10.
Hard to say. It's what makes it hard for you is that you can't tell whether it is moving fast or whether things are so distorted around it that it seems like it's moving fast, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
So it has the movement to stand up and scuttle around. The only person who's not on the ground and kind of in melee with it is the person who is next, who is about to do some stuff. Harrison, it is your turn.
So did this creature move to the building away from I'm just wondering, is there a chance that Harrison could fall on this creature?
There is 100% chance that Harrison could fall on this creature.
Okay, cool. As Harrison falls backwards off the top of this roof, he does like this corkscrew movement as he falls.
I just imagine this one little glance between Harrison and Illusion Harrison where they kind of just look at each other and
Yeah.
lock eyes for a second.
Yeah.
And they're just like, just kind of nod.
Yeah.
And then
Illusion Harrison.
He's like, we got this. So as Harrison and his illusory duplicate corkscrew and fall to the ground, they both give themselves that nod of like, hell yeah, we can do this. And then the duplicate just falls much faster than Harrison does.
No, actually, it's interesting. You guys fall at seemingly normal rates.
Okay.
It is just your walking and running movements that change, and you guys drop at the same rate, interestingly enough.
Okay, gotcha. So as Harrison falls, he is going to try to land onto the creature and stab it with his short sword. He's just doing like a rotating dive into this creature.
Yep, absolutely.
16 to hit.
That'll hit.
Because there are so many people adjacent to him, he is going to get a sneak attack.
Yes, indeed.
10 points of damage.
Minus your 1d4.
That is not happening anymore.
That is no longer
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
effect.
Yes.
It does less damage
I'm
than you
just,
hope.
I was
But it
reading a
does
cheat sheet.
more damage than it previously would have.
And that is unfortunately his whole turn because he does not have a bonus action. But he's going to try and break out of this slow aura.
Yes,
You
perfect.
got it, Harrison.
Natural 20. Yay, nice.
I mean, how could it be anything different for Harrison? Like, of course, now is the time for action.
Of course, jumping off the building solved everything.
Obviously, people should try it more often. I mean, clearly it works.
Is the only person affected now fully Char?
Yeah.
Okay. Selv, your turn. So again, you seemingly once again have been able to do full again, asterisk full damage, but have been able to do full damage to this thing.
I was a little worried with the that gong kind of bell type thing, and it was because of recent commercials. I was going to be like, and all of us turn and go to Taco Bell.
No,
Like,
no, you are not compelled.
It is time to live, Moss.
No, it is not a fourth meal monster.
okay, Selv is going to bring his quarterstaff kind of in front of him and aim for this as close as he can get to the head of this moth thing.
Yeah.
And going to attack twice. So first attack, a 16 to hit,
That hits.
5 points of damage.
Okay. Full damage.
I'm going to use a key point to flurry.
Nice.
Seems reasonable.
16 to hit for 4 points of damage.
Excellent.
And unfortunately,
Full damage.
a 4 to hit.
That is not.
And then I am going to not be happy about my current location, and that will be the end of my turn.
That is the end of round 2. You guys are all pretty much, other than Harrison, pushed up against a wall with this creature. You've all been blown back. Char, it is your turn.
Char, when he got pushed back against the wall, did he get knocked prone?
No.
Okay, so he's just like sort of shakes himself off a little bit from the force of getting pushed into the wall, and he faces the creature. I'm assuming right now he and Selv are kind of like looking at it from different angles, and so he just rears back and just starts punching this thing as hard as he can, basically.
Yep.
Just like mostly in anger, but also in trying to get its attention away from the dwarf. He's going to make an attack. 13 to hit.
That is a miss.
All right, sounds good. So he's not able to connect with his giant arms, but what he does do is he's going to call out, Asterlin, you're up! And he's going to use his Commander's Strike ability. He's going to command an ally that he can see to immediately use its reaction to make a weapon attack against something.
Lovely. Awesome.
Is that a bonus action?
It's a non-action, basically.
Cool.
All right, I will use my reaction. Ooh, so close. It's a 19 on the die to hit, so that's 23 to hit.
Hot damn. Absolutely.
9 points of damage.
Nice.
That was a good roll.
Does full damage.
And Char just kind of like gives you that, like, good job. That's the end of his turn. He's going to try and shake off the effects of this
Good luck.
aura. Yeah.
Come on, Char!
Ooh, nice. That's going to be 18.
Yes. You are now also free.
Excellent. That is end of his turn.
Just Sophie here giving everybody guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
From a distance.
Speaking of, Val, you were slowly dragging this dwarf away, this harrowed victim, when you were just blindsided and just thrown up against the wall. And now, once again, you are face to face with this monster. The dwarf is still next to you. He is very out of it. What do you do?
So Val, having been blasted into this wall, I'm imagining kind of got blasted on her shoulder, so she pushes herself off the wall, spins around, and is just still frightened and worried and uncertain as to what is going to happen. So kind of almost out of a panic reaction, she unleashes Guiding Bolt
Ooh.
onto this creature.
Okay.
Yes, 17 on the die, so it's a 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
12 points of damage.
Okay. Less than you'd hope.
Yes. And the next attack has advantage. I should have done this in a different order, but fuck it, I'm doing it. I have not optimized this turn.
Well, someone else's attack will have advantage.
I attack it with spiritual weapon.
Oh, got it. I thought you had already for some reason. Carry on.
No, I'm gonna do it.
Well, you have advantage, so that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
15 on the die,
Nice.
8 points of damage, and that's it.
This creature, now that it is no longer actively feeding and is actively combating, is going to take a legendary action.
No.
We should just give it the dwarf. It's just yeah.
Val,
Yeah.
Val, could you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
No. Yes.
The answer is yes. I can make a
I will.
Constitution.
Okay,
Make a
come on
Constitution
now,
saving throw.
die.
I must make it.
11.
That's a fail.
Damn it.
From my angle, it was like an 18, and I was really excited for you, but no.
Val, as you are turning away from this creature, you get this feeling overcomes you. Not just that you are in this open space, alone, vulnerable, a tiny speck, but now you feel as if something is pulling you deeper into that isolation, deeper into how alone and small you are. And you find yourself on top of the building as you have been teleported 10 feet up and are no longer able to see the creature.
Val
What?
turns around 360 in a circle in just utter bewilderment and is trying to figure out what just happened.
Yeah, and you can still hear, it is still right down there. Like,
Yeah.
there's still battle and that kind of stuff, but it has moved you, like, kept you further away, further alone.
Oh, I thought first.
Sophie's real happy about this.
I-
Like,
I-
I am very
Yeah.
happy.
I thought for a second to be Val. Val turns 360, looks around, and just goes, "I am a god."
This is, thank you, God of Knowledge. This was exactly what I wanted.
No, Val is still
How did you know?
under the aura of fear and is like, well, fuck.
Now it is the Mothman's turn.
Oh, no.
First, it is going to make an attack against Self. It's a 19 on the die.
Yep.
10 points of bludgeoning
What?
damage.
Ooh. Oof.
I'm
That's-
so glad
that's
Val's
not
on the
good.
roof.
And then, as part of it, as its second attack, is going to reach out and try to grab the dwarf that it had been attacking.
No, my dwarf buddy.
Rolled a 15 on the die. This is the DM die for the night, apparently. And does not do damage, but brings it once again just in lightning speed, especially with you guys feeling the way that you do, with lightning speed, reaches out and snatches this dwarf and just thrusts it back into its face, just almost pressing forehead to forehead. And this dwarf once again goes almost unresponsive with fear and terror and who knows what else. Though it does have protection against good and evil on it. So I was going to say, how did we rule that last time? Because I think Selv got it casted on him.
Yes. So it's
remember?
protected against aberrations, grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls.
I had forgotten. Okay. I re-rolled and rolled a 4 on the die.
Yay.
Nice.
So it just reaches out and tries to grab at this creature, and you guys all see, and Val doesn't, this flash of light almost repel the claw attack, and it is not able to grab. And you can once again hear, not in an attack way, but you hear another bell sound as it chimes out. Harrison, you are atop this creature.
I am on top of it, yes. As a bonus action, Harrison is actually going to disengage.
Cool.
And as an action, he is going to make the illusory duplicate of himself run in front of this creature's field of vision in front of the dwarf and just sort of bring his sword up and take the stance to protect him.
Okay.
Harrison disengages, and as he's running away, he tries to throw his voice in the direction of the dwarf. And he's like, "Hey, dark and stormy, why don't you pick on something your own size?" And he's just like this tiny dwarf standing against, he's just this tiny halfling standing against this monstrously large creature. But the real him is hiding.
Give me we will say either deception or performance check.
Deception is 9.
Okay.
Upon hearing Harrison's yell out and challenge to the creature to pick on something its own size, Selv will just kind of say quietly to the darkness around him,
That would be me.
18 on the die for a total of 22 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
4 points of bludgeoning damage.
That was all the damage.
Wonderful.
I'm going to spend another key point, and I am going to flurry of blows. I got to stop doing the flurry of blows. That doesn't work. That's a 1 on the die. Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit.
All right. That was a wasted key point.
Damn. Those are some rough rolls.
I will, as long as I'm still within 15 feet of the creature, I'm going to scoot around so that I could be next to the dwarf.
Top of the order, when something happens. Once again, almost in slow motion, you all hear the deep ring of a bell. And we'll see you next week.
Come on.
What? No.
We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Pausing mid-combat is bad for my constitution.
If you love Reckless Attack, you'll love the people who helped us make it possible. Our logo artist, Maggie Pearson, character artist, Borg Cinnabon, and website designer, Donnie Chung, put together all the visuals you see for our podcast. We have some fantastic music, too. Our opening and closing theme was written by Chicago-based composer Megan Carnes. We also used the works of Michael Gelfi and Alexander Nakarada for our background music. You can find all of their social media links and more info about them on our website, recklessattack.com. See you all next time.